What's going on, guys? Kaiger here. Very recently, a lot of people on North America and South America had some pretty interesting merges happen, and there's been some changes to how merges work. And I'm going to go over how merges work, what affects it, how I think they could be changed, as well as returning player stuff. Let's get into it. Alright, guys. So there's two types of mergers in the game. So first, there's the full merger where several servers actually become one. Everything is exactly the same. And there's cross-play mergers where you play with other people, but you can't play with them in everything. You can't marry them, things like this. It's a little weird. So first is this first type of merger right here that North America just had. As you see, several servers, kind of a big number, right? 89 to 124. So that's, 35 servers. That means, let's say it's the lowest possible 3 or 4 days per server. This is over a month more than the other person. You could argue that they're in the level 200 plus, so it should be fine, right? But that's also literal months, at least a month, of resources and things like this coming in that they do not get. Now they try to fix that by giving us this. This is when you merge, they give you 7 days of login. And as we see here, we're getting extra attempts on some PvE stuff to try to make up for it. Some crystals that we would have missed out on, things like this, through 7 days. Now the issue here is this is really, realistically, about a week worth of things that you're getting across all of these. Maybe a little bit more on some things, depending on these scrolls, but realistically about a week, maybe two if you're being generous, of stuff you're getting, and it's only including some game mode type of stuff. Now, this is going to be really rough on the servers that are, in this case, 35 servers behind. They're fighting someone that has had over a month more than them at the very least. These should definitely be updated, and I believe it should be scaling. We already have semi-scaling in the game, where once a merge happens, or if let's say you're a returning player and you're a lower level, it gives you a boost of XP based on the server level. They already kind of have that. Dragon is based on server level. A lot of PvE is based on server level, and it would just be very interesting, and I believe it should be based on server level. So the oldest server still gets some rewards, probably what we're looking at right now, but the newer your server is in that cluster should be more rewards as a catch-up mechanism to go for it. Now, the other type that we have here is a very, very weird matchmaking. And it's actually really funny because if we check out the dates here, 89 to 124 had this weird one, as well as NA server 89 124 had this weird cross matchmaking, and then literally the week after, they're put in this full merge. So this server just has all kinds of wonky stuff going on. But South America is the one that primarily only has this cross matchmaking going on. For most game modes, Guild War, Wilds, Home, Crystal Battlefield, Exchange, Miasma, Dungeons, some PvP, everyone here is matched up. Now, the thing is, there, as you know, doing Burning Soul Battle, no matter what, you already have a group that you fight against. That, I don't even know what you would call that. So you have 3 versions of things. You have your server only, which is Elemental Realm, which is Ladder Arena, which is Starleaf Garden, and Path of Fire Sword. This is just your server. Cross matchmaking does not affect this in the slightest. Then you have kind of this weird cross, which is what you're already used to. What I can report on right here is, as an example, South America 235 to 243. This is one that I've seen a lot of conversation about. 237 to 241 was already in a cross, and that is the old cross, and they are getting matched up for Burning Soul Battle specifically. Every other cross matchmaking, such as Guild War, such as Thunder Roar, such as Shrine Peak, and even Top League, is the new cross, which is this 235 through 243. So it's a weird 3 different groupings of people you're playing against. You're playing against people on your server that you're used to. You're playing on this little cross that you're used to with this one specific game mode, Burning Soul Battle, and for everything else, you have this bigger cross with 4 more servers that you... Who the hell are these people, right? Kind of a weird situation. And then the last thing I want to talk about is returning players. This is probably going to be a big deal with this collaboration coming out. Now, what happens is, if you haven't been in, I believe it's 3 weeks to a month or something like that, you get this pop-up saying return to welfare. This was originally only on Korea and Japan, then it was added on Southeast Asia, and now it's on everywhere, including global. Telling you, hey, you can play here and we'll give you some freebies to help you catch up, or we suggest going to a new server. And ideally, if you come back, you can play with some people that you miss, or if people aren't there anymore and you're really far behind, you should probably go to a new server. Now, what's interesting is what they give you for logging in is some Kabbalah crystals, which is a money-only resource, but it's considered free Kabbalah crystals. As you see right here, owned is 0, paid 0, free 0. And it's unclear, because I haven't done this. I've tried speaking with some returning players, but I haven't got any answers yet. What you can do with free Kabbalah crystals versus paid Kabbalah crystals. A little weirdness there, but should be for most things, I would imagine. And then if you do your activities, you get a lot of similar things that we saw on that cross server. So if your server had a cross and you're a returning player, you're going to get a lot of stuff. Last but not least, there's some offers. This is a $10 offer and you get the Kabbalah fruit, which puts you at whatever the world level is minus 10. So if the world level is 220, this puts you at 210. And then you can collect everything else and get a bunch of XP, probably jump up to 211, 212, depending on how long it's been going. But you're still going to be months behind as far as everything else. So I like what they're doing. Kabbalah crystals is definitely a good comeback. Having a fairy selector is nice. Extra attempts on PvE is nice. But I think they can juice this a bit more. And I definitely think this needs to scale based on how old your server is to give you a foothold. Merges need to happen. They just how the game is, merges need to happen. And I think you would have less jumping on older servers when a merge happens if this was cleaned up and better for most players. Let me know what you think down below. Till next time, guys.